Okay, so how do you train your SDR? Now, if you're dropping in cold into this video, this is one of the videos as part of my commercial account executive AE Readiness series. And I have mapped out a whole bunch of stuff, A to Z. Watch it in chronological order. My team has a link to the playlist below. Open that in a separate tab. Binge watch the entire content, take plenty of notes, comment if you need any additional stuff. If you have any real challenges that you're not able to contextualize into your role, book a call with me. Again, my team should have a link somewhere down below where you can reach out to me and have a chat. Anyways, I am very passionate about this topic because more than once my SDR has fucking saved my ass, okay? Apologies again if I swear and that offends you. I tend to just do these videos off the cuff with a lot of content, and sometimes a couple of words slip out, right? I will bleep out anything that is very offensive, but you know what? I feel like that's a good place to start, okay? Instead of starting with the first point, I'm going to start down here. The reason is I have been an account executive for going on almost 11 years. I have been in sales, B2B sales, whether it was technology or otherwise, for almost 13 years now. I was selling right from when I was in university, and then I got into tech sales straight out of university. I did not have an SDR for the first almost 5 years of my sales career, right? Like I started selling at around probably 19, maybe 20. I didn't have an SDR. Even longer. So now I started selling at around 20. I didn't have an SDR till I was about 25, right? So I was 2 sales roles deep by the time I had my SDR when I was at CrowdStrike. And the reason I was able to have such a good relationship with my SDR, now, I thought so. Tom or Alex, you know who you both are. My SDRs from CrowdStrike. You might hop on this video and call me a dickhead, but look, anything that I did for my SDRs, I did from a place of, hey, I want you to be better. Not because I want more meetings out of you, because I know you're capable of more, right? The SDR role is sort of the gateway into senior sales roles, right? So it's so important to coach them, to develop them, to really get them firing so that they're ready for the next stage, right? And so I want to start off by saying, don't be a C word to your SDR, because it is an incredibly hard job. It is incredibly daunting. It is super tough. Most of them are really junior. They have no fucking clue what's going on, and you're throwing them into the deep end. So with that, what I will say is step 1, build them up, build their capability, build their confidence. How do you start to build them up? Well, there's a couple of different elements here. Number 1, right? What I always say is prospect with them. Don't just tell them to prospect. One of the things that I did and I was religious about was every time I was prospecting, if I was doing it remotely at home, I would send my SDR a Zoom link and I'd say, hey, hop on the Zoom, let's prospect together. I make a call, you make a call. I make a call, you make a call. Let's go back and forth, right? So I can hear how they sound, I can start to coach them, and they can hear how I sound, and they can see that I can actually do their job. A lot of SDRs are very skeptical of their account executives because they believe their account executives cannot make their own cold calls, cannot actually do their own outbounding. So what I will say is, if you want to build your SDR's capability but also establish credibility with them, stop being a bitch and start making calls in front of your SDRs, right? Because all of my SDRs knew I could do their job and 10 other things and carry a full freaking commercial or enterprise quota, and I could do it better than them. So they had instant respect, instant credibility. They're like, Joe knows what he's doing. I will listen to Joe. I will follow Joe's lead, right? So that is how you lead. You lead from the front. You do not lead from behind. So one of the things that I recommend that you do, I'm going to bounce around a little bit over here, but one of the things I recommend you do is you make sure that you block out time in your calendar. So this is an example of what my operating rhythm usually looked like when I was in mid-market / commercial and enterprise sales. But I would usually make sure that my prospecting sessions, so the purple buckets over here, I had typically 5 to 6 prospecting sessions I did myself. I would make sure that I would loop in my SDR into at least 2 to 3 of those so that we could prospect together, right? So that way I'm making their life easier, and I'm also taking the fear factor out of it for them, right? Fear is a big thing. I know a lot of SDRs that might be listening to this might just be thinking, oh my God, how do I reduce that fear? I'm really scared of picking up the phone. Don't worry, that goes away with practice, but that also goes away with knowing how to pitch and how to position and how to secure meetings, right? Which is something that I will talk about when I talk about the exact cold call script. I know this says an example of a warm call, but the reason I say that is, and you'll see this when you watch this section of the Commercial AE Readiness program, but the reason I say that is you have to warm up every cold call. There is always a way to warm up a cold call. No call is ever truly cold. You will find a way to warm it up, and I'll show you exactly how you do that on that, right? So when I talk about preparing your SDR, getting your SDR's capability up, you need to make sure that you are prospecting with them and show them how to prospect, right? If you're a commercial account executive, watch the prospecting module that I'll do as part of the Commercial AE Readiness series, which don't bounce off this one yet, watch this one. But I will have that in the series, watch that, get good at it yourself, and then train them on that methodology, right? So that way, you're building their capability, right? It's all part of that philosophy of not being a C word to your SDR, is actually care about them, actually help them grow. So that sort of leads to the next point, set them up for success, right? Teach them how to pitch. Arm them with target accounts to go after, right? So again, if you've dropped in cold into this video, the previous video, I talked about how you tier your territory, right? I gave you the tiering framework for your territory. So once you have done your prospect tiering and you know what your ideal customer profile looks like and you know what good accounts are, I would recommend that you are focusing your tier 2 accounts, not your tier 1s, but your tier 2 accounts. Make sure your SDR is across those. Those are their designated accounts. And then every week you maybe give them 3 to 5 accounts, or you maybe give them about 15 to 20 people that they need to target, and you target with them. So you're on the calls, you know who they're going after, and you're helping them get cut through. You're listening to how they pitch, you're listening to their cold calls, you're listening to their voicemails, you're checking the emails they send out, not to micromanage them, but to give them feedback, right? To be like, hey, let's tweak this, let's improve that, do this next time, right? That's how you start to build that capability. Get hands-on with your SDR's development, because that will come back to you 50-fold. Okay, monitor progress weekly and coach them into success, right? So give them little weekly goals. Hey, this week I want you to focus on these 20 or 25 people. We're going to do 3 prospecting sessions together, and I want you to aim for at least 2 meetings, right? And so that way you're tracking their progress, you're helping them. If they don't hit their goal, you step back and you go, look, I'm not going to attack you, but where are you challenged? What are you struggling with? And let's help you overcome those challenges, right? And then the next part, also be patient. Yeah, be patient. We were all rookies. We all sucked. I freaking sucked for a good couple of years when I first got into sales. And I'm so glad my leadership was patient with me, because that helped me grow as a person. And they gave me constant coaching and feedback. The next one is show them what it takes to succeed at the next level as well. Make sure they're starting to see your world, the sales cycles that you handle. They start to understand, wow, this guy does a lot, okay? Wow, these are all the different elements of being a fully fledged account executive. Cool, now they start to understand what it takes to play at your level. Because ultimately, good SDRs get promoted quickly. And I know that sucks sometimes, because when you have a winner, you want to kind of keep them there, but you gotta let the birds fly. Develop them, help them grow. And that way, they're going to go on to help other SDRs grow. That's how an organization uplifts, right? It's ground up. Lastly, and I'll say it again, don't be a C word to your SDRs. I know SDRs are probably watching this and going, wow, that's refreshing. Someone that was, that's an account executive that's not treating us like crap. I know how hard it is, right? I've come from a hardcore inside sales background in my early parts of my sales career, and I never stopped doing my own prospecting and pipeline generation. So I know how hard that shit is. So keep hustling to the SDRs that are watching this, getting ready for maybe stepping into AE roles. Keep hustling, keep that energy up, and to the AEs out there, implement some of this stuff, right? What I would recommend you to watch is definitely, I'm going to do a video in this series on multi-threaded prospecting, which will also go into cold call prep, which will go into the cold call script. I know it says, I say cold, but it's warm, right? Every call can be warmed up. So I have this aversion to calling it cold calls. I think it's warm calls, right? And the idea is you want to make sure you're warming it up, which I'll show you how to do it. And then probably also watch the video on operational rhythm / how to set up your week, because now as a commercial account executive, your weeks are now intertwined with your ecosystem. So your weeks are intertwined with channel, with SDR, and with marketing, as well as your own shit, right? So watch those videos. That will definitely help round this picture off. Anyways, hope that was useful. Like I said, if you're struggling with anything seriously in your commercial account executive and you're drowning and you're in your first, sales role and you're trying to work out what the hell's going on, watch these videos. Or and if you're still struggling after watching all my videos, book some time in with me, right? I've got a link down below my team should have in there. We can have a chat. Anyways, hope that was useful. Keep selling.